So I want to start today, maybe in a place that feels a bit, well, honestly, sometimes kind of humiliating for me.
Okay.
It's that, that internal feeling, standing right on the edge, the absolute precipice of saying something really true.
Ah, yes. I know that edge.
It could be anything, right?
Yeah.
A boundary you need to set, or admitting you're angry, or maybe just saying, actually, I'm incredibly tired.
Mm-hmm. The simple truths often feel the hardest.
You feel that little surge of energy, the impulse. You even mentally rehearse the words, and they feel right, they feel clean, necessary.
Yes.
And then it's like the whole system just slams on the brakes.
They freeze.
Exactly, the freeze. It's totally quiet on the outside. Nobody else might even notice. But inside, oh, I feel the physical stuff instantly.
Tell me about that. What happens?
My throat just tightens. Like a small, almost muscular hand clamps down.
Mm-hmm.
And my breath gets really shallow, right up high on my chest. My hands, maybe they were moving or holding something, they just suddenly clench or maybe settle kind of tightly in my lap. And that clear feeling, that impulse gets intellectualized away immediately.
That's such a vivid description. It's a full body event, isn't it? And thank you for just holding the space for how intense that threshold feels.
Well, what's so tricky, I think, is that in that second, it doesn't feel like fear. Not emotionally. It feels like pure, cold logic.
Ah, the disguise.
I tell myself things like, oh, I'm just being mature here, or I'm saving them the awkwardness, or maybe this just isn't the right time or place. It's all this preemptive self-management.
Right, you're being responsible.
Yeah, I call it caution or responsibility, but if I'm really honest, it's the same old pattern, that emotional surrender, and it leaves that dull, low ache, the unexpressed thing.
That's the absolute brilliance of the defense mechanism, isn't it? It convinces you it's the responsible adult in the room. But what you're describing, that freeze, it's actually a moment of profound high-energy resistance.
High energy? That's interesting because it feels like shutting down.
It takes a lot of energy to stop that natural impulse. So the invitation here, maybe, is not to immediately try and force yourself past it, but just for a moment to drop the story, the logical explanation, and just notice the physical reality, what's actually present in your body right now as you even talk about it.
Okay, right. Let's unpack that, the physical reality. Because you're right, if we stop treating this freeze like just a mental glitch, failure of assertiveness, and see it as a physical event, where do we even start with that?
We start right with the body, always. Because the body, well, it doesn't lie, does it? And it doesn't rationalize like the mind does. It just reports. This is what's happening right here, right now.
Okay.
So right now, even just reflecting on that feeling, that self-censorship, check in. Where does the energy of that swallowed word, where does it land for you? For lots of people, it might be like a cold knot in the stomach, or sometimes a heavy, kind of vague weight, often right behind the breastbone.
Yeah, I know that one.
Or is it maybe hunched shoulders, like you're bracing? Or that classic stuck throat, like there's a permanent lump there. What do you notice?
For me, definitely the throat tightening is the first thing. It's primary. But it feels anchored. Anchored by this specific kind of low-grade tension in my back, right between the shoulder blades.
Ah, yes.
It feels like a constant posture, almost. Like I'm always slightly bracing, waiting for the next thing.
Okay, hold that. Just notice it. Don't try to fix it. Don't even take a deep corrective breath just yet. Just feel the bracing itself.
Okay.
Because the crucial insight here, I think, is that this sensation, it's not a metaphor for feeling fear. It is the fear materialized in your body.
Wow. Okay. It is the fear.
Yes. We're so culturally trained, aren't we, to see that sensation, the trembling, the tightening, the quick heartbeat, as a sign of weakness or like an enemy we need to conquer.
Totally. Push through it. Get over it.
Exactly. We're told to just power through.
Right. We treat fear like it's this solid wall that we just need to smash down, instead of maybe, I don't know, like a messenger. Something to read.
Precisely. That's a beautiful way to put it. But what if courage isn't about not feeling that trembling? What if it's actually the willingness to feel the sensation fully? To accept the bracing.
Okay.
And choose to move forward anyway? What if strength is actually being present right there with yourself, even while your body is screaming that the situation feels dangerous?
That feels very different.
In Gestalt terms, we'd say fear isn't a flaw in the system, it's a figure.
Okay, figure. That's one of those therapy words. What does that mean exactly? If fear's a figure, what's the rest?
Right, good question. Think of your awareness, your whole field of experience like a landscape. Most of it is the ground, the background, the context, everything you know, everything that's there, but you're not actively focused on it right now.
Okay, like the room I'm in, the time of day.
Exactly. Then something spontaneously pops out from that background into the foreground. It grabs your energy, your attention. That's the figure.
Yeah.
It could be a specific memory suddenly surfacing, or feeling hungry, or a flash of anger.
Ah, okay. So it's what's up for me right now.
Precisely. And when fear arises, it is a figure. It's demanding contact. It's demanding attention.
So when I do that freeze thing, when I swallow the words and push the feeling down, I'm essentially taking that urgent, loud figure and I'm forcefully shoving it back.
Yeah.
Back into the background, back into the ground.
That's the armor kicking in. That's the overthinking, the delaying, the minimizing, maybe putting on a smile when you really want to cry or shout.
Oh yeah, the smile.
We treat that vital energy, that figure, like it's some kind of glitch in the system that needs to be deleted, rather than seeing it as important information that needs to be processed, or related to at least.
And I recognize that armor. God, it's exhausting, isn't it?
Yeah.
We end up pouring so much energy, so much attention into just holding down something that's actually alive.
And that is where the cost really shows up. Because that trapped life force, that energy, it doesn't just vanish into thin air when you suppress it.
Right, it has to go somewhere.
It turns inward. And this is the heavy cost of suppression we were talking about, of that unlived life, the unexpressed truth. It shows up not just as some kind of generic anxiety, but often in really specific, recurring patterns you might recognize.
Like what?
Well, maybe that cycle of burnout. From always saying yes when your body is screaming no. Or that constant low-grade resentment simmering towards people you actually care about.
Oh, I know that one.
Or even chronic decision fatigue because your system is just constantly overriding its own internal compass, its own yes and no. You end up feeling like something is missing, right? And that something is often your own unexpressed aliveness, your power.
That really connects the dots for me. Between that vague feeling of just being drained or dissatisfied and that very specific physical freeze moment. Okay, so if the body's trying to move towards expression, wanting to speak or rage or rest or confess something, what happens right before the freeze? What's the pattern we keep falling into?
That pattern is what we call the interruption of the contact cycle.
Okay, the contact cycle.
Yeah, it's basically how we naturally meet the world, meet our needs, interact. It starts simply with a sensation, a pull towards something, a desire to speak, maybe a longing for rest, or just recognizing you're being treated unfairly.
Okay, physical feeling or urge.
Exactly. And that naturally moves into awareness. You notice it intellectually, you put words to it. I'm angry, I'm tired, I need to say no here, I want that connection.
Right, I know what I feel or need. And I'm guessing the next step is where things go wrong, the interruption.
That's the systemic stop sign, absolutely. The interruption happens when we divert the energy away from that awareness, away from moving into action or expression, and instead, we redirect it towards one of those pre-programmed coping mechanisms, like delaying, oh, I'll deal with this later, or rationalizing, you know, it's probably not that important anyway, or the classic people-pleasing, no, I'm fine, really.
I'm fine, the killer phrase.
Isn't it just, so the energy freezes, the words get swallowed, and that natural cycle of making contact with the world, getting our needs met, expressing ourselves, it gets broken, interrupted.
But hang on a second. Doesn't this way of thinking risk, I don't know, overanalyzing every single little hesitation?
Yeah.
How do I tell the difference between this emotional freeze you're talking about and just plain old common sense, good judgment telling me, hey, maybe don't scream at your boss right this second? Isn't some self-censorship just necessary politeness?
That is such an important distinction to make. Absolutely critical, and there's a felt difference. Good judgment, true discernment, usually feels calm. It feels grounded. It actually feels expansive. It tends to offer you options.
Options like?
Like, okay, this isn't the moment, but I will address this calmly tomorrow morning, maybe in writing. It feels like a choice coming from a place of stability.
Okay, and the freeze?
The emotional freeze feels tight, compressed. It often feels like a necessity, not a choice. It tends to offer only one option.
Silence.
Shut down, get small. And the freeze usually comes with those physical tells we talked about, the shallow breath, the bracing, the tight throat, and often an immediate rush of very circular, maybe even punishing internal thoughts.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Wow. Good judgment feels spacious, maybe strategic. The freeze feels compulsory, like there's no other way.
Exactly. And here's perhaps the most important reframing of all. That interruption pattern, that freeze response. It's not some kind of personal failure happening right now. It was, most likely, a brilliant and absolutely necessary survival strategy that you learned when you were young.
A survival strategy.
Think about it. Maybe you grew up in a home or environment where expressing anger meant you got punished, or where showing desire meant you got shamed, or maybe just being too loud or too much meant you risked being ignored or emotionally abandoned. Your young system learned, very wisely, that visibility or authentic expression equated to danger. So what did it do? It adapted. Brilliantly. You became your own sensor, your own internal protector, constantly scanning for threats.
Oh, wait. That really anxious, hypervigilant, overly cautious sort of manager voice inside me, that's actually just my terrified younger self. Still trying to do the job it was hired for maybe 40 years ago.
That's often exactly what's happening. It's desperately loyal, that part. And it's massively overworked, bless its heart. It's still operating on an old threat model, seeing danger everywhere, often in black and white terms.
Wow, that reframing changes everything. Suddenly the sensor isn't some malicious inner critic trying to sabotage me, it's just running really outdated software.
Outdated, but originally designed with the best of intentions to keep you safe.
Okay, so if we recognize this happening, this interruption, this freeze,
Yeah.
what's the action? What's the how-to for breaking that pattern, maybe right in the moment it's happening?
Well, the first, most foundational action is actually embodied. It's about interrupting the interruption by grounding yourself physically.
Grounding how?
Let's say you're in that meeting or in a difficult conversation, and you feel it. Starting, the throat tightens, the thoughts race. The simplest thing is to take one slow, conscious breath, feeling it move down into your belly if possible, and at the same time, really press your feet firmly into the floor. Feel the contact.
Okay, breath and feet.
That simple physical act helps anchor you in the present moment, right here, right now. It interrupts that automated panic circuit just enough to give you a little space.
Okay, so ground first, feel my feet, then what?
Then we gently, carefully move into dialogue with that inner protector, with that voice that whispers the caution, don't, or be careful.
Talk to it.
Yes. This is the real Gestalt move. You need to identify that quiet, often very persuasive voice. But, and this is absolutely vital, you don't argue with it. You don't try to bully it into silence. And you definitely don't judge it for being scared.
Okay, so how do I approach it?
You treat it like a wise but deeply frightened guest in your own house. Imagine pulling up a chair for it in your internal landscape. And then you simply listen, fully, without an agenda to fix it or change it. Just listen.
When I try to listen to that voice, honestly, it often just sounds like pure panic. It floods me with worst-case scenarios. If you say that, they'll hate you, you'll lose your job, you'll end up totally alone.
Yes, the panic is loud. But try to listen underneath the panic. Listen for the underlying drive, the core intention. What is it really trying to achieve for you?
Okay. Underneath the panic.
When you can meet that voice with genuine curiosity, really wanting to understand it without trying to shut it up, it often reveals itself. And usually it's driven not by malice, not by a desire for you to fail, but by a terrified, desperate kind of love.
Love and really.
Yes, it's saying deep down, I'm trying so hard to keep you safe. Safe from being abandoned, safe from being shamed, safe from being rejected, safe from being hurt like you were back then. It remembers a time when being truly authentic was genuinely dangerous for you.
That's really powerful. So instead of fighting it, I'm acknowledging its positive intention. It shifts from combat to relating.
Exactly. You're building a relationship with that part of yourself, and this is what we might call embodied reparenting. You respond to that frightened part from your grounded adult presence today with compassion.
How does that sound? What do I say?
You can literally acknowledge the protector's hard work. Something like, thank you, I see you. I see how hard you've been working all these years to keep me safe. You have been fiercely loyal. Just that genuine gratitude can often soften the resistance significantly.
Acknowledging it.
But then, and this is the crucial piece for reclaiming your authority in the present you bring in your adult self, you gently but firmly state the current reality. And I'm here now. I'm not that vulnerable child anymore. The situation today is different. The threat level is not the same. I can hold this feeling. I can speak this truth, even if it's uncomfortable. And I can survive the consequences, whatever they are.
I am here now. I can handle this.
That's the core message. You're differentiating the past from the present. That's the shift.
And when I've managed that sometimes, you know, when I've actually had that kind of internal exchange, the physical response, it's almost immediate, isn't it? It's not usually loud or traumatic, but there's a definite release.
Yes. What do you notice?
Maybe a deep sigh just comes out. or a subtle softening in my back or shoulders, sometimes a little warmth, or just a sense of relief in my chest.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, embodied rewiring happening in real time.
That is the body responding. It's responding to the internal signal that the danger level has been downgraded, maybe from a perceived 10 down to a more manageable 3 or 4. The system starts to regulate.
So the transformation, it doesn't happen after the fear is gone, on the other side of it.
Exactly. It happens right here, right in the heart of the fear, when you shift from fighting the sensation, resisting it, to relating to it, listening to it. When you meet that figure of fear fully, with presence, it stops being experienced as a solid wall and it becomes more like a doorway, a threshold.
A doorway.
An invitation even.
So what we're really doing is we're interrupting the interruption itself.
Yeah.
We're stopping the pattern of shutting down and allowing that context cycle you mentioned to flow again from the initial sensation through awareness towards eventual expression or action or maybe just rest.
Precisely. You got it. And when that happens, the fear doesn't necessarily vanish completely, but it transforms. When you stop pouring energy into resisting it, and instead you meet it, listen to it, maybe even channel it, that trapped energy stops being just anxiety.
What does it become?
It becomes information, it becomes focus, it can even become fuel, aliveness. You learn to move with the sensation rather than bracing against it. You integrate the wisdom of that cautious voice rather than just silencing it or being controlled by it. And that is how fear becomes a source of power, by completing its cycle, by delivering its message, by moving from defense to dialogue.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means real power, maybe true strength, isn't about somehow eliminating fear or pretending to be fearless.
No.
It's actually about the presence of aliveness.
Yeah.
The willingness to feel everything, including the trembling, the tightness, the racing heart. And choose to move anyway.
Yes.
So the trembling itself isn't weakness, it's just the physical evidence of being alive and maybe on the verge of something important, something real.
That is the entire point. Beautifully said. You are not broken for feeling fear. You are exquisitely alive because you feel it. You're standing at that edge, that threshold, not because you lack strength, but because you are encountering something true, something that matters to your system.
So the fear isn't my enemy.
It's not your adversary at all. It's more like your loyal, albeit sometimes trembling, companion. It's providing you with vital information based on its deep history of trying to protect you.
That feels like a concrete pathway forward, something different from just feeling ashamed or frustrated with myself for freezing up again.
And the work, the practice of this, it's ultimately a continuous rhythm, isn't it? It's not like you reach some destination called fearless.
Right, it's ongoing.
The fear will come back. That protector part is loyal. It will tighten your throat again. It will quicken your breath. It will flood your mind with logical reasons to stay silent or small. That's its job.
So when it happens?
When it does, the difference is you won't need to fight it anymore. You won't need to fix it. You won't need to flee from it.
Well then?
You'll simply need to turn towards it, gently but firmly, compassionately, and have that internal conversation. Ah, I know you. Hello again. I feel you. I see how hard you're working. Thank you. I'm here now. The adult's here. Let's go together.
Let's go together.
That choice, that simple, profound choice to show up in the fullness of your own reality, even when you're shaking, especially when you're shaking, that, I believe, is the deepest liberation available to us.
Go with your trembling.
Go with your trembling, because ultimately, liberation isn't found in being fearless, it's found in being faithful. Faithful to your own truth, faithful to your body's signals, even the uncomfortable ones, and yes, faithful even to your fear, treating it as part of you, not something alien to be expelled. Carry that fear as fuel, relate to that protector, because right there in that conversation on the other side of meeting that fear fully, there's only more you waiting to be lived, waiting to be expressed.